Why did Skeletor break up with his girlfriend?
I don't know.
She said he didn't have any heart.
This is true.
Yes. Welcome to the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. You found Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, and we're so happy that you are here tonight. Thank you for checking in with us. Hope you're doing well. So, joining me as normal is Mr. Signature King, SK, the Royal of Foils. How are you?
Great, nice and cold here. We're getting a big dump of snow, so I'll take it.
Yeah, we're getting a little dusting of snow right now. So I think it's kind of snowing pretty much almost everywhere right now in some capacity.
Yeah. Growing up in the Midwest and then moving to the East, I noticed that even if you mention snow, school's closed, can't go to work. It's like, come on, people, it hasn't even snowed. It was raining when they called it off.
Yeah, exactly. My philosophy is put the no in snow.
I love snow. I need more. I hope we get like 15 feet of snow in a weekend. That would be awesome.
You can have it. Have at it, my friend. So this week, did you do any comic hunting, or did you do any, were you on the prowl for browsing, or?
I did some browsing. There is a couple of cons coming up that some people that I would finally get the chance to meet, they're coming. So I was looking at some books online for them because they're pretty obscure. My LCS doesn't have them. But in terms of going to my LCS, I didn't quite make it. But hopefully this weekend we'll make it.
Nice. Of course, I did a little looking around. That's kind of become my Sunday thing, to do just a little bit of browsing around. And
it's fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun.
Even if you don't buy anything, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I sent you a picture today from my browsing around.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of a poster. I'm like, you need to get one of these for your
Every
room.
time you send me something, I'm just like, oh, how much is this going to cost me? I'm going to open this up and buy it.
Well, you actually did reply, where's this for sale at? So yeah, I knew you liked it. So
I need it in my collection right now.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, I just did a little browsing around, which is always a bunch of fun. So
very cool.
We have a first-time guest with us again tonight.
Always exciting.
It is. And when we get into the retro review, we'll have him tell us why he picked what he did pick for the retro review. But I thought it's something we had never done on the retro review, so that's pretty cool.
It is.
And
unique.
Yeah, and this guy is one of the cool real dudes in our YouTube comic book community. And I'm so happy to welcome Matt from Empress Comics with us. Hi, Matt.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Doing good. Yeah, y'all beat me to it. I was going to ask for a weather check to see where is everybody located and what is the temperature.
Wisconsin light snow.
I am in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
We are getting rain and then snow and then turning to ice, so it's very exciting.
In Clemson, South Carolina, we had 82 degrees Friday. It's going to be 23 degrees tomorrow. So
wait, went from 83 you said to 23?
Yep. So Friday was 83. It was beautiful. It was hot. Tomorrow, it's already close to 30 right now. But yeah, we're going to be the 23 tomorrow. So
by Wednesday, Thursday, everybody will be sick.
Of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I was in Fort Polk, Louisiana with the Army, they got a little bit of snow.
Oh,
like you can
yeah.
still see the grass. It's like a scene from The Walking Dead. Cars were upside down on the highway. Things were on fire. Everyone was running to the grocery.
So I live in Clemson, but I work for a network security company in North Louisiana. So I go back to Louisiana every few weeks. And a couple of what was it last year? Baton Rouge and New Orleans and all that got the huge snow, or maybe 2 years ago. That was the most ridiculous thing that anybody's ever seen. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to be the old guy on the panel. I'm talking about the weather and
no, it's all
what's
right.
everybody doing?
So, Matt, tell us a little bit. How would you summarize you as a collector?
For a collector, I have a problem, I think is the biggest way to sum it up.
You've come to the wrong support group.
You have issues.
Started when I was a kid. I mean, it's been everything from, I remember pocket watches, pocket knives. Then as I got older, it was baseball cards, and then cars, and then whatever. If I found something I wanted, I never could turn it off. And small fun little fact is I've never drank and I've never smoked, because at about 9 years old, I realized that if I started and I liked it, there's no way that I could turn that off. So I have no problem being around it. I know my limits, and I only stop on that one thing because I kind of go nuts on everything else. So I just like things that make me happy, and I've got there's enough drama, enough unhappy people out there and around me that I have to interact with often that I don't want to be that. I want to be able to look around and be happy with everyone and everything around me. So that's kind of what my collecting is.
Nice. Now, Matt, this is the first time that I have actually said this like publicly on a stream, but what you just said reminded me of it, and I'm willing to share this tonight. So, lately I'm a single guy, not for lack of trying, and I've been thinking about weddings a lot lately. Not that I'm having a wedding anytime soon, but I started thinking to myself, sometimes they spend $3,000 to $10,000 just on a wedding dress. And then I started thinking, well, I'm not going to get married anytime soon. If I even spent $1,000 or $1,500 on a slab comic book, that's kind of like my equivalent of a wedding dress. Now, do you see the logic I'm going with?
I see it clearly. Now, I don't know if anybody else or everybody else would, but I see exactly what you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's why we're friends. That's why
Yes.
I come Sunday nights to spend time with my friends. So
There you go.
we have some friends in the chat too. If you're watching on the rewind, thank you so much for joining us. First in the live chat, Muabunga to Ruby G. White Tiger, cool, calm, collected. Hope you're doing well. We have Warlord James is there in the audience with us. Great to see you,
James.
too. Hey, we got Not Near Mint here with us tonight.
Hey,
So,
Rob.
yeah,
the
Rob, how are you
worst.
doing? Yeah.
He's the worst.
He's the best at the worst or something like that. So Alan's here as well, doing well.
Alan?
Yeah, how are you doing? So we have to get Alan back. I was mentioning this in one of my videos recently because Alan loves the obscure characters. And I thought maybe we would put Alan back sometime in the next, little bit. And we'd do a theme of each one of us picking an obscure DC character. So that could be fun. Meow to the Jackson Roykirk. Meow. Oh, Jackson Roykirk, there's a new treasury that has a diorama from DC coming out this week. Just saying. Is it legal to marry comics? Ooh, that's a good question.
Can be who you want to be.
That's right.
Especially around us.
People have married trees. So, I mean.
That's true. Some woman married the Eiffel Tower.
Or some lady married a wall in Norway.
Mm.
So, I feel like a comic book compared to those, not that weird.
Yeah, not that weird. Well, thank you all for being here for the beginning of our show. So, Signature King, we're going to start talking about some news that's going on in the world of comic books. And I know that James Gunn has given us an update on a show that some people were kind of saying it's probably dead because we haven't heard about it in a long time, right?
I don't know about that, but James Gunn also made some confirmations. Well, he killed a couple of rumors.
Okay.
Talking about this case, Batman.
Okay.
The rumor was it was being fast-tracked to production, and he said, absolutely not. Is it not being fast-tracked? In fact, they don't even have a script yet for any sort of Batman-related movie. But one thing someone pointed out, that it's what he didn't say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just speaking volumes. He didn't say, we don't even have an actor. He just said, we don't even have a script. So there could be a director attached already. There could be a cast of characters all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say that. He just said there's no script. So who knows?
Well, what I was talking about was the fact that he said that Paradise Lost, which has been rumored as, because there hasn't been an update on it in forever, that it's just, it's shelved. And he says, absolutely not. So Paradise Lost still is part of their plan. So that's the pre-Wonder Woman story of Themyscira and the Amazons.
I'm excited for that show. You're right, but it seems like we were talking about this show since before Gunn even took over. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it's been reworked to oblivion and back.
Yeah.
But one show I am very excited for is Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. That's going to be cool. That is going to be very cool. So very excited for that.
Nice.
But for other news, I didn't really see much other than we are getting our first appearance of Absolute Robin, which is going to be really cool.
So talking about Matt, do you read the Absolute Universe?
I do, and I love it. I I am a person. I don't know how many people admit this to you, especially on the internet in front of people. But I'm one of the only people that I know that loved the Electric Superman. Blue Superman was my guy in the 90s. And it was because it was the same guy. I didn't need to learn a backstory. It was just like it felt like an alternate setup situation or whatever. And so then when any of the Absolute stuff come out, and even on the Marvel side of Marvel, Ultimate Spider-Man, that kind of stuff just hits me right where I want it. And yeah, when Absolutes came out, it was just, okay, check. My pull list just got 6 issues bigger. So I want them all.
Well, it was just announced that the Absolute universe is getting 2 more titles added to it. So
Yes.
Absolute Green Arrow.
How cool was that cover or the image with him and Black Canary on the front?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Absolute Catwoman has been announced as well.
Yep.
So both of these coming in May. So we're looking forward to that.
The cover you're talking about, Matt, is that the one with Green Arrow in the background and Canary's kind of in the foreground?
Yep, she's in the foreground, sort of side. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, the cover that I liked the most out of all the covers they released was just him with what looked like a skull mask.
Oh yeah,
a white background. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That looks like it's gonna be quite good.
Who's writing that? Do we know?
Crap, I could have told you.
I'm looking now. I don't see it. Same with Catwoman. I don't see a creative team at all.
So for Absolute Green Arrow, is it Pomsak?
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Is that how you say it?
Is that how you say
not
it?
what I would say.
Is I
But you're probably
Raphael
more...
Albuquerque?
Yeah, Raphael Albuquerque. I do know who he is,
Yeah.
but okay. Yeah, that guy and Raphael Albuquerque. I'm not that I'm trying to be funny, but I would have absolutely no idea how to say that name. But which is good because I noticed that one thing that DC is doing is they're reaching a lot more to international talent.
Yes.
And it's giving us a different take on not only the writing side of it, which is also very great, but it gives us the art. Yeah, the art is amazing. It's amazing. Like Danny Strips from Greece.
Exactly. Yep.
She just got something else. I forget. I was reading somewhere. I was going to talk about it, but they're bringing her back to the new Batwoman series. It's not in the Absolute universe.
Right.
I think it comes out of the All In line. I don't recall. But she's a full-time creative artist on that line, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yep, that one's been on my pull, so I'm waiting for it to #1 to show up for that one.
Yep. I put one on my pull list for sure. So hopefully it's good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There is a bunch of facsimiles that have been announced, but I think the biggest of the announcement is the fact that JLA Avengers is getting a monthly facsimile of all 4 issues starting in May.
Nice.
So I think that that's going to be pretty awesome. Marvel's going to publish issues 1 and 3. DC will publish issues 2 and 4. Issue 1 dropping May 27th as a facsimile.
Ryan, somehow you and John have to get some kind of credit or pat on the back for keeping the JLA
Right.
Avengers conversation going, right?
Right, exactly. Thank you for noticing our contribution.
Absolutely.
And we got a bunch more facsimiles that have been announced as well. Let me go through. And then I saw something else too that I haven't even dug into because I just saw it when I was going for this story. But let me share some screen with you too. Sometimes it's easier to know what comic book you're talking about when you actually see it. So here's coming out as a facsimile, Action Comics 583 with the second part to Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. So
cool.
that is scheduled.
I like that cover. Who did that? Curt Swan.
Yep. May 13th for the facsimile on this. We reviewed this on the Retro Review not that long ago. Saga of the Swamp Thing, issue 21 is going to get a facsimile. That is coming May 27th. And of course, DC's doing some other monthly facsimiles as well. You know, like the Dark Knight Returns. But there was another one that really surprised me, and I want to show the cover to this because it has been recolored, and I'm not sure if the printed version is going to be recolored or if this was just an internet thing. But coming in May, Justice League of America issue 75, which is Black Canary joining the JLA, is getting a facsimile.
Very cool.
So the original of that has a much darker background to it. And I think if I scroll down, you can see the original in comparison. There's the original.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
you go back and look at that. I kind of like the lighter color a little bit better, so I hope that it is recolored for this.
What was the date for that one?
This is May 13th. Are you a facsimile collector, Matt?
It depends on what
On
it
the book?
is.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does. And it also depends if I really want a placeholder for a book I can't ever afford. I'd like to have
Yeah,
it.
I
you know, where can at
completely
least look at it.
understand that as well.
Yeah.
So,
An Action Comics 1 guy.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have an extra $5 million just laying around?
Not right.
Rainy day
I'll check my other pants in the couch, but I think I'm going to be a little short.
Batman 244 classic Ra's al Ghul
Yes.
cover is getting a facsimile release coming up in
Yep.
May.
I've got that one pulled. Gonna get that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. There'll be May 20th, the date that you should stop by your LCS, a blank sketch cover and a foil variant. I might get the foil on that.
Yep,
would
that was
be
the
pretty
foil is
cool.
what I ended up getting.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't have a local shop that's anywhere close, so I always have to do the direct comic book service and order mine, and I get mine every once a month. I get my shipment. So
Sure. So they originally had planned on, or at least it was the placeholder cover art for the Batman Bronze Age Omnibus Volume 1, which we've talked about in news before. But that has been updated now with the new and what the cover art will look like, and it's going to be this.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so a nice little homage cover there by Neil Adams. And this is definitely something that I'm interested in. I think I would get a lot of enjoyment. Checking in at 960 pages on sale July 28th. So, Matt, are you an omnibus collector?
I am, and well, I'm not gonna dig them out, but yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Yep, I think the first one I ever got was Death of Superman. I don't have a ton because I don't have a lot of place to put things in this room. So, but yeah, I do have a few of them.
Okay, cool. Now what we're going to dig into is something that I literally just saw as I went here to pull up some images, and I haven't read these stories myself until now, but later in the year, Justice League issue 200 with this beautiful Perez wraparound cover is going to get a facsimile, they're saying. They being
wow.
13th Dimension. So,
Nice.
yeah, this is a great story too, which pits the original Justice League kind of up against the new Justice League with a connection back to their origin or supposedly the first time that the Justice League got together. So,
Nice.
yeah, and I was excited to see that too. Let me see if I can find a release date for that, if they mentioned it or not. I don't see one just from browsing. But they have another article of 9 DC Comics facsimiles that will be coming later this year. So let's take a look at this because I'm just going to learn with you. As I just mentioned, the Justice League issue 200 coming out with a facsimile. We're getting another Detective Comics number 27 facsimile. Wonder Woman 72 is going to get a facsimile. That's interesting. They've really not done anything from this era, meaning like a creative team of Wonder Woman facsimile wise. Swamp Thing number 1, which I think they have done a facsimile of too.
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure they have.
I'll tell you, a foil on that would look amazing.
It would.
Batman 497. Someone's gonna need to go to a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
Green Lantern 50. Okay.
Wow.
Lobo.
Of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So interesting. So those are some future facsimiles with dates to be announced. All right. So that's kind of what we can kind of expect in the world of comic books. Pretty cool.
Speaking of comics, our first absolute story run is ending after issue 12. Absolute Martian Manhunter will end on issue 12.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that yet.
That was announced 2 days ago,
Hmm.
so still relatively fresh. Sad. I like that one. Although the art was still kind of different in some spots. I don't think that's why it's ending, but from what I understand, it's out of all the absolute books, this one's not doing the greatest. So I think they originally wanted to go to 12 they kind of left it on a cliffhanger. Someone's explaining that they could extend it. I guess now they're just choosing just to stop at 12. I don't think at all that this is going to be the last we're going to see of Absolute Martian Manhunter. He's probably going to show up somewhere.
I feel sure he will. Yep.
Yeah. But his standalone run ends on issue 12. I don't even know what we are right now. 10, I think? I don't recall. I thought I had the latest issue next to you, but guess I don't.
I want to say hi to Gordon, who's popped into the chats. And then Dave Enrique is here as well. Do you guys know if JLA Avengers and Dark Knight facsimiles will get a prestige format or staples? The Dark Knight facsimiles will, at least not in this initial volume that's coming up this week, won't. It's going to be the glued versions like the originals were. So I know that for a fact. There's some cool variants, though, for that Dark Knight facsimile that's coming out this week. Digger Jim is here as well. I want to say hi to him. Hope you're doing awesome.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you, buddy.
Issue 8. So
and then Gordon was asking what was special about Swamp Thing 21. If I'm remembering, because I was the one who read the story, wasn't it an updated take on his origin?
Yep. More modern era.
Yeah, more modernized. So it was good, though. I remember it being a good story. That's cool. All right. We caught up news-wise then?
Absolutely. That's all I got.
Let me hijack 15 seconds of the news segment with a former DC title. So I'm going to use that so I can get in here and kind of take over.
Okay.
I am one of the biggest fans of Mask in the world.
Oh, yes.
And knowing that is going to be a full-time issue now, that put me on cloud nine when I read that Friday. That's fantastic news.
I actually did see that, and I thought of you. Tony, what you don't know is Matt almost picked Mask tonight for the retro review.
Yep. It was between Mask and He-Man, and I was like, well, nobody's going to want to hear about Mask, so I know there's a He-Man movie coming out. Maybe people could get a little something out of that. So
yeah, I gotta admit, I know absolutely nothing about Mask, and almost nothing about He-Man.
So I have been very good about not watching trailers ahead of time, but I heard people like this Masters of the Universe trailer.
Oh,
is it good?
Yes.
Is there a cosmic key?
There is. It's actually surprisingly grounded a lot. The trailer is grounded a lot in the real world, in like the city, and then they start taking the trip to Eternia, and
that's cool. I mean, I'll definitely see it. I'll definitely see it.
Does He-Man get to keep his terrible hair from the 80s?
He has better hair than that,
Bob. But he doesn't have the bob.
It's a little. They got to keep a mullet of some sort, but yeah, you should check it out. It is quite good. It doesn't give a lot away, but it's nice to see Idris Elba in there as Man at Arms, and I mean, cool. It's just the whole cast just fits. It's like the casting directors.
Courtney Cox is in this movie. Okay,
cool.
All right, I didn't know that. I have to check this trailer out.
Yeah. So, Matt, we're going to start into the retro review tonight, and we'll start with the DC Comics Presents book, which Signature King will take over. Tell us why you picked Masters of the Universe tonight. I know you did a little bit. You've kind of let us in there a little bit.
Yeah, it's just I'm an '80s person, so this was all my this is all my nonsense here. So I just thought it would be good. I've never seen anybody do reviews of He-Man stuff, and I tried to find 3 books that were more like. Well, this is obviously He-Man's first appearance, and then tried to do the next 2 issues were kind of origin backstories to sort of let you in a little bit on why Adam is the way that he is as he's becoming He-Man and that kind of stuff. So yeah, just shedding the light on something that people might not know very much about, especially since there's a big movie coming up this year.
Cool. Well, take it away with DC Comics Presents Superman and the Masters of the Universe, Mr. Signature King.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like that cover here. I remember growing up, I had Superman toys and He-Man toys, so they met in my universe many a times. In fact, I think
that's a
lot of them
cover.
Yeah, I think a lot of those meetings were at Castle Grayskull too. I had like the giant Castle Grayskull too. I wasted a lot of my parents' money, but anyway, yeah, we get this really cool little teaser here. Let me zoom in and try to make this a little bit bigger so you appreciate some of the art. I gotta say, this is a cool website. I've never been able to play stuff. That's kind of wild. Yeah, look at that. Who wrote this? We have Philip Kupperberg. I think that's how you say this name.
Paul Kupperberg.
Okay. Curt Swan on the pencils and Mike DiCarlo on the ink. So this is a really nice Mike DiCarlo. So kind of cool. I didn't know he did He-Man stuff. So yeah, we're gonna kick this thing off here in Eternia. And when I looked at this, I thought he was in Eternia. They were driving like a regular car. I was like, oh wow. Here we have He-Man and Man-at-Arms. They're doing some kind of training, but it turns out that He-Man's kind of taking this maybe not as serious as what they want him to be. He's kind of having fun with it, which I thought was pretty funny. If you're a name like He-Man, well, I guess his name's not He-Man yet.
Right.
It's
Man-at-Arms doesn't know that he's that he's He-Man.
Yeah. But I'm going to call him He-Man just because it's way easier. For someone like who might not know a lot of He-Man stuff like me, like I didn't know his name was Adam until today. I just knew he was He-Man. But yeah, he's kind of having fun with some training. But yeah, Man-at-Arms is really not having as much fun as he is. And then this young lady comes in, Teela. That's how you say her name.
Yep.
What, Teela?
Tia is what I've always called it. I've heard it both ways in different cartoons too, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, looks like Teela, but maybe you're right. Now, my question about this character, maybe you can answer this, but who is she? It doesn't really have it explaining her role.
So she is Man-at-Arms' daughter, and she is like the lead of his guard. So she is a guard's person.
Like a royal guard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, it seems like maybe he's or she's some kind of love interest, maybe a little bit, or maybe he just likes showing off for the ladies. I don't know, but he's able to take this, weight here. Which, by the way, I got to kind of chuckle. They had all the fantasy land in the world. They have weights. They have dumbbells in Eternia. Okay.
They're trying to relate to us mortals, probably. Maybe that's
they're trying to relate. So he's able to just tie that into a really nice knot, which I thought was pretty cool. We cut to a familiar place for me, Metropolis. I go every year, but yeah, Clark Kent in this case, kind of being when I see Superman do stuff like this, I picture him doing it on purpose. Is Superman? Can he really trip over something as minor as some audio video equipment? I don't think so. But here we have Clark Kent slipping over some camera equipment at the news station, and he's being scolded by what I presume to be some sort of supervisor. And here he talks about Clark Kent giving him ulcers because of how much stress he has to worry about. Clark Kent zipping around, but Clark Kent hears something going off the distance, so he zips into Superman costume. So right down here, a little caption says, "Two worlds, a multitude of dimensions, and infinite amount of time apart. Pay attention, through soon they'll be coming together." So kind of ominous. So really cool ad, another really cool ad, and here we are back in Eternia. And I know some of these characters. I don't know all these characters, but it looks like they are back in some kind of bar or tavern. Everyone is enjoying a nice glass of ale. Everyone is being a responsible adult. And here we have Battlecat. Is that right?
He's Cringer right now.
Cringer, yeah. But he becomes Battlecat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I recognized the green tiger, but I guess growing up I never really knew his name.
Yep.
But yeah, he's escorted Adam to the bar, and He-Man is kind of telling him how much of a loyal companion he's been this whole time. But it seems like the saloon or bar or tavern owner who doesn't really care for Adam or Battlecat, and it's really funny because it seems like they're going to go rounds. And I gotta say, if some guy's squaring up to me with that haircut, I don't know. It could be The Rock. I feel like I could take him, obviously I can't, but I feel like I could. But yeah, right here, Adam says, hey, how about we take this outside? And he's shown the door quite literally by this bar owner. And Adam kind of gets up and he says, my dad's the king. But this bartender doesn't really care. But then Teela shows up and says, yeah, please don't. He calls him a nursemaid, which I thought was funny. Hey, I'll go find someone who else needs a nursemaid. I thought that was pretty cool. I really enjoy the art on this one, and I gotta say, some of the panels are not excitingly laid out, but I feel like that's a good thing. From the little that I understand about this particular book, that this was an introduction not only to Eternia meeting Earth, so to speak, but from a lot of people, this might have been their first exposure to Masters of the Universe and He-Man in particular. So they've had to take it a little bit easy in terms of how the story was kind of laid out. And honestly, it is simple, but it's kind of refreshing at the same time. A step back, because now you have, if you look at like a modern day comic, you have panels literally all over the place, and they can be confusing about what order they're in. But I kind of like the flow of this book, and it was really great. But back to the story, Adam and Teela see something happening in the distance, and first I thought this was Batman, because I saw like the bat creature, but it turns out it's just like a crow, kind of flying through the moonlight. And Adam says, it's the Falcon. I'm needed. And Adam and Teela zip off, not Teela, Adam and Battlecat zip off to a cave. And this person, I didn't know who.
She's just the Sorceress. That's her name.
Okay, right,
yeah, and that Falcon, the Falcon is her bird. So
okay, so when He-Man sees the Falcon, he knows to go see the Sorceress. All right. So Adam turns into the He-Man, and what's the tiger's name? Granger? Cringer, not Granger. Cringer. Cringer turns into Battlecat, where they are shown a projected image of Skeletor, and he is posing some sort of danger. So they zip at the story. We zip over to Castle Greyskull, where we see Skeletor talking to Beastman. They have this super cool sword. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but yeah, he's going to do some gnarly cool stuff with it. He takes a swing, and he's like, how do I explain this? It's like he's cutting through time and space, like cutting through a dimension, and that other dimension just happens to be Krypton, where Superman is, who sees it on his end, and he's like, yo, that's not good. I'm gonna go take a look. Here we have an ad, and yes, Superman is going to the cloud, and he's just kind of sucked into it. Can't really do anything about it. So he actually lands at Castle Greyskull, where Skeletor and Beastman are like, yo, look at this dude. Kind of neat. So they have a quick battle. This art is actually pretty cool, by the way. This is actually, in my opinion, this battle could have went on a little bit longer, but I understand as to why I want the Signature King to write a He-Man series. Only if I can use other characters. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with He-Man. But yeah, Superman, what looks like to be getting the best of Skeletor. Beastman kind of jumps on his back, but Superman is quick to think on his feet. He does a quick loop-de-loo, gets Beastman off his back, but he's able to bring him back to ground safely. And Skeletor zaps him with his magical sword just in front of He-Man and Battlecat. He-Man makes sure he's okay, and this part kind of made me chuckle a little bit. Instant best friends.
Of course.
Heroes they've been friends for years, and they're just running to each other at the grocery store. Like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? And they say, essentially, like, the guy who hit you, his name's Skeletor. He brought me here somehow, and he's like, okay, team up time. Here we go. And here comes Man at Arms. Right? That's Man at Arms. Am I mistaken that? No,
yep.
Yeah, they charge Skeletor at Castle Greyskull, but Skeletor, the ever so clever evildoer that he is anticipating that. Which I gotta say right here, I don't know Man at Arms very well. I don't know what he can do. I don't know if he has any special abilities, but he brings these two like bullets or darts or whatever he is. And Skeletor just kind of brushes him off like, I'm not worried at all about you in the slightest, which is kind of funny. But He-Man goes in for the charge and actually do get the better of him. But Skeletor actually hits Superman with some sort of magical beam from his sword, which allows Skeletor to somewhat control Superman. So Superman gets turned onto He-Man. The guy with the cool sword might not be that, but maybe it's just misunderstood. happens. You know what I mean? So Superman and He-Man get into this really cool battle here. And this is, in my opinion, where the book really started to shine. Because you have these really big, colorful, action-packed panels of Superman taking some blows and He-Man getting knocked around a little while, which I thought was pretty cool. But while He-Man was down, Superman was able to break free a little bit and kind of melt. I don't know what he was doing here, like melting the ground around him, but it didn't really work. From what I know about Skeletor, he's not just a guy. He does kind of have superhuman strength. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt.
Yeah, he does. He's got magic that does most everything for him. So
gotcha. Okay, yeah. So which we know that is a vulnerability for Superman. This panel also kind of made me chuckle because it looked like maybe Superman was just like gently gliding him. Like if you were going on a date with someone and you could fly, that's probably how you might fly over the city. Instead of just like putting him in a headlock and like chucking him into space or something. But it doesn't really work. He kind of disappears and Superman comes down. How am I going to get home? I don't know how I'm going to get home. But He-Man has the ability to bring Superman home, apparently. So we're going to skip this ad right here. And that ad, and oh yeah, that's right. That was the end of it.
That was it.
Yep. Yeah, Superman gets home.
It really surprised me with this book. You hold it in your hand. It's actually it's a fairly thick book. It's not like a square bound or anything, but only half of it is this story, and then the next part is something completely different. So it feels like a really really quick story when you're reading through.
Yeah, it does.
I wanted to read. I got to this part and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to remember that because this looks pretty cool too.
So that was our 1982 introduction to He-Man into the world of DC Comics. We'll fast forward a little bit to Masters of the Universe, The Origin of He-Man. This came out in 2013, and it was a one-shot. So any particular reason, Matt, except for just to expand on the origin, why you chose this?
Yeah, that's really it. It's just another telling. This one and the issue number 19 that we have after that are both kind of flashbacks that tell what Adam went through and what made him, become He-Man. What made him get into that.
Well, I will take...
question for you, Matt, real quick. Do you know if DC has always been the publisher of He-Man?
No. So it was Masters of the Universe. That first 3-issue run was with DC. And then in 1987, I believe it moved to Star Comics. So it was under Marvel's head. And it stayed there for a handful of issues. And then it sort of languished out. And then it fell back into DC in 2000s.
Very cool.
Yeah. So for me, and I'm going to take this issue, this is a book that I hadn't read for the first time until now, although I was familiar with the characters. We start out with a hand and a very recognizable sword and the outline of Skeletor, and instantly he says, "Good riddance, nephew." And I'm like, whoa, what do we got here?
Yep. That was another big reason why I wanted this one.
Yeah, and you can see that who we presume to be Adam is very wounded. Skeletor's reaching for the sword, but Adam is as well. And he utters his line, "By the power of Greyskull, I have the power." And he becomes He-Man. And Skeletor is shocked. How can this be? I am next. I must wield the power sword. And they start clashing instantly. But it's time to flash back to see what led us to this point. So earlier, Prince Adam is in his chamber sleeping. He's hearing a horrible noise that's waking him up, and he has no idea what's going on. So he's mother, father. He starts heading down the corridor towards their bedchambers. And he's hoping everything's all right. He heard this noise, and the guards are gone, so he's coming in. And he's like, I'm scared. And he's like, "Please tell me." And then Gods of Eternia, he lifts the sheet, and you see the look of his parents there. And are they dead? Are they in some type of suspended animation? We cut away back to the present moment with He-Man and Skeletor fighting back and forth. Skeletor says, "Who are you? Some creation of the Sorceress, a cosmic joke from above?" And he says, "No, I am He-Man, and you are nothing." Skeletor uses his sword, gets He-Man pretty good. He's like, "I am Skeletor. I am the true ruler of Eternia. I am the conqueror of dimensions, the beast of what does he say? I'm the beast of the
Gar.
Gar. Yeah.
His mother was from Gar.
Oh, okay. And now he's saying, "And now I'm the slayer of He-Man," and he shoots looks like some type of electrical charge bolt to He-Man, and He-Man's screaming. And we flash back again to, they have heard Adam screaming because he's discovered his parents, so more guards have shown up. And Adam has taken to looking through the castle and runs into Skeletor. And he's like, "What is going on? Who are you, and what are you doing?" And he says, "The young whelp managed to escape my power." He's like, "I meant to spare all of you to be my slaves, but this gift to take the head of Prince Adam will be quite the prize, unless you can help me find what I'm looking for." And he's like, "Well, why would I do that?" He's like, "Well, to save your family, because you're a coward. Show me the sword of Greyskull, and I'll restore your parents, and I'll let them all live. If not, perhaps I will wear your skull as a crown." And Adam's like, "Well, I don't have a choice, and he says, "The weapon you seek is right here." And he's like, "Take it and go." And he's like, "You think I'm such a fool, child? This is merely an antique. It's been on the wall since I was..." And then all of a sudden we cut back to present moment, and He-Man and I'm sorry, this is not present moment. Adam has grabbed the sword and starts going after Skeletor right there. And Skeletor has warned him and says, "I've been told that you never train." He's like, "I haven't." He's like, "Well, you're a natural, but it's a shame, of course, because you really could use a lesson." So Skeletor is besting him in this. And he says, "Now tell me where the power sword is, or die like the filth of your wretched Earth mother birthed." He's like, "You are just a monster." And he's like, "You don't know the half of it." And he's like, "That tapestry." And Adam says, "Well, it belongs to my family. It's hung here for generations." He's like, "I know, boy, but I've never really looked at it." So that implies that he's been there before and he's familiar with this. And he's like, "This is the story, the legend of King Grayskull, how he forged the power sword, how he fought off the hordes of Hordak, and all from the decrepit castle of his. As a boy, I thought it to be a fairy tale." And Adam says, "But it's not. It's true." And he's like, "It hides my treasure." He's like, "I felt the power. I knew it was here. It's my destiny." And he's like, "I've waited my lifetime for my birthright. This is why I have Greyskull's blood in my veins, why I've suffered humiliation and pain. It's excruciating." and he uses his scepter on Adam, calling him a waste of flesh. You think that you can fool me? He's like, "Your destiny, Prince." And he's like, "I can." And all of a sudden, Adam is like in this, like he doesn't know if it's real or not. And you can see by the coloring, which they do such a great job on it here. Adam is told to rise. And he's like, "Well, where am I?" And he's told Castle Greyskull. And it's the Sorceress that is speaking to him.
Yeah, so I misspoke to you earlier, not even thinking. The Sorceress transforms into that falcon. So
yes, exactly.
She is that form.
I knew that, but I had forgotten that until we got to tonight's review. So she transforms from the Falcon into the Sorceress, and she essentially introduces herself, how she's kept watch over Castle Greyskull until the day you came. But I didn't come here. I was in the Great Hall, and Skeletor... Adam's saying, "Well, I'm not here. I was in the Great Hall with Skeletor." And she's like, no. "You're not really here, Prince. Rather, you are where you need to be. Your mind is journeyed here, and soon your body must do the same. But for now, you must ensure Skeletor does not take the power sword. It's your power sword." He's like, "Mine?" He's like, "I don't want any part of this." And she's like, "You have no choice. It's your destiny. When King Greyskull left the mortal plane, he warned of a war between two of his own blood. One will bring destruction, the other will fight it back. And the end of the world stands at the gate, and only you, Prince Adam, son of King Randor, descendant of King Greyskull, nephew of," and then she stops and says, "Perhaps you aren't quite ready for that yet." But I think we've got our own indication of what's going on. He's like, "I'm not really ready to do any of this." And she's like, "Well, your father may not have known that this day would come, but in his bones he was always scared of it. He let you grow weak and scared. He let you spend your days and nights as you please. Destiny is less kind, though." And she's like, "You will awaken soon, and the sword will be within your reach, and you will say the words, and you will no longer be just Prince. You will be He-Man. You will save our world. You will destroy Skeletor, because you can, because you must, and because you will." So now we cut back, and Skeletor is giving it to him with everything that he's got with that scepter. "Come to me." And essentially, we're getting back to the beginning. We got some good pages here with no words, just some great panels, to the beginning of our story. And we see Adam trapped underneath, and he actually does see the sword, just as the Sorceress had predicted. And he reaches his hand out, he's grabbed a hold of the sword, he's uttered the words, and then we get this fantastic end splash of He-Man and Skeletor as it declares it's the beginning. So,
awesome.
Very good.
Awesome.
And like I said, once again, I want to emphasize how much the color and the colorists, their work really contributed to this, to the way that they should,
I agree. I like the way that book was illustrated.
Yeah.
It's the first two are far superior to this third one on the art, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us about the story that you're going to feature for us, Matt.
This is in the run, so we're on issue 19. So the series is already ongoing, but this is a complete flashback issue that just goes and tells this version of the origin, which is fairly similar with some more interaction with Adam and his uncle before he goes bad. And it basically shows the uncle going bad as well as Adam having the opportunity to become He-Man. So I'll fly through pretty quick. I've got it here in front of me. We start on the first page, and it just says the power. And so you're already brought into something that's happening. Not real sure what's happened. Clearly, there's a battle. I realize that's his father that's down on the ground. And we have two sub panels that say just in time. You got Man-at-Arms shooting Beastman, who's trying to jump over to Adam. And then there's a big flash of light, and then just in time again. And so then we go to the next page, and we've got all the reinforcements that are coming in, that are coming to try to save the king. And they're just waiting on the doctor. Man-at-Arms is telling them, "Hey, you need to get Adam out of here, keep him safe. Don't take him back to the city because everything's going crazy. Keldor's taking over everything." And then there's the Sorceress's Falcon sitting there looking at him. And so now we're going to go to the next page, which goes back to this morning, to where Adam and Teela share their first kiss. And then, it's like, oh, it's the perfect day. And then you go to the next panel, and she's like, "Black." And then he says, "Well, what do you mean, Black? You wanted me to kiss you?" "No, I didn't want you to kiss me. You dared me to kiss you." So she did that. And then goes on with them doing, what feels like teenagers back and forth a little bit. And she says, I'm here to protect you, dum dum. And he says, and why is that? And then they were both just quiet there at the bottom and kind of smile because they both realize. And she's a little red faced, so she's been caught. And Adam's still showing out. What you learn over the course of He-Man is Adam is a womanizer. He is a very he likes to be the star of the show as far as at those taverns and at dinners for the family and stuff too. So he's standing there just showing out a little bit, and then almost gets run over by a man-at-arms who's flying through as they're getting ready to go to this big delegation that they're going to have to get to. And so they end up talking man-at-arms and Adams do, and he's asking, is it just the Royal Guards that's coming? And he said, no, it's not just the guard. And then we flip on around and you can see some of the other guys, and realizes with the eyeball image down there that it's the Masters of the Universe that are all meeting. And right below that panel, we've got just this word, "This is most unlike you, Adam," which lets me know, okay, what's going on. And Adam approaches his father and starts to tell him that he wants to be a master of the universe. And this is after a lot of talking with him and his uncle Keldor, who is obviously there in blue. And he has given Adam the courage to reach out and say, stand up for himself for what he really wants to do. And his father is obviously not having it. It's too dangerous. Thinks that Adam's too much into chasing Teela around and that kind of thing, and he's not taking anything seriously. And so he and Keldor, they're there talking, and Keldor is trying to tell him that this Greyskull that you're talking about is just a story. It's a story to inspire soldiers, and it's inspiring, Prince Adam to be this too. And the king is saying, no, it's actually real, and goes on through some of the history. And then this is where the king sort of belittles Adam and says, how can you ever expect to be a master of the universe when you can't even master yourself? And then so Prince Adam runs out, and as we scroll down, he's sitting on a bench, just, sort of bawling a little bit, feeling sorry for himself. And Keldor comes around and Adam said, I thought that, he was going to, since you gave me the courage, I thought if it was coming from you, he would see. And Keldor's like, no, he's just so stubborn. He's, it's his greatest weakness. And so they sort of talk, and Adam says, well, you know what I need to do? And he says, no, you don't need to do this. Sort of half-hearted, almost baiting Adam into, yeah, you really need to go prove yourself on your own. And that's what he did. As we scroll right here, you can see this is where Keldor's mother, Keldor's father, he and the king share the same father, but different mothers. And that their father was stranded on the island of Gar, which is a place that's not allowed. No one's allowed to come to Eternia from there. They're kind of cast out. And so he ended up having a child there, and the mother only asked that he took the child back and to let him come back when he was of age. And Keldor was never allowed to go back and visit his birth mother at this time. So he's letting Adam know, hey, we're both princes that are underachieving. We're invisible, and nobody really wants us to achieve who we're really supposed to be. And that's where Adam's like, well, I've got to do this. And he ends up, as we scroll down, he takes Keldor's, what's the exact word for this? He takes his ride, basically. And so he's going to go out into this dangerous land. And as you can see, now we're looking at Beastman, and Beastman's getting some communication, some words that says, you just need to capture him, don't kill him. If things don't go as we plan, then we're going to need him to negotiate, basically. And then we flash back. Hey, John. And we'll flash back to being in the king's lair there. They're all getting ready to do their delegations. And the king gets word that Adam's out on his own. He's unaccompanied, and he must go himself. And Keldor even offers no, just let your guards go and get him. You need to be here. And so he's covering all of his bases. And as you look, you can see the pretty lady pouring wine into all the cups in these here. So the king leaves, and he asks Keldor to take his seat at the table. And Keldor's like, as you command. That's exactly what we're shooting for. And so they all cheer, toast to the king. And he says, yes, to the king, the mighty destroyer, King Keldor. And so Evil-Lyn is the lady. So she transforms because she also has magic, as do all of the Skeletor's most trusted people. Anyway, so she says that was pressed from the grapes of wrath himself. So he goes and he's ready to go ahead and start taking over things. So he's ruling everything over there right now. And then Adam gets caught up here with Beastman, and they knock him off, and they're starting to come after him. And then all of a sudden, here comes the king. The king is just throwing all kinds of lasers and all that. But then a lot of that gets turned upside down when Beastman just takes the plane apart. And the king comes crashing down. He's in the wreckage. Adam's screaming, "Father, Father!" He runs over and he sees that the king is out. He's trapped. He's trying to basically fighting for his life. He's got a little bit of breath left in him and tells Adam to run away. And Beastman's coming quick, and Adam feels total guilt because this is all his. Yeah, that is true, John. Adam's feeling all this guilt because this is all his fault, because he was trying to prove, and now he's got his father almost killed here, and Adam's just convinced that he's not going to leave him. I can save you. He just doesn't believe that he's going to die, and he just sits here over and over and over. And we start seeing these words come up for people that aren't there, and then we realize that it's the sorceress, and she's talking to there, trying to figure out, is this the one? Is this the chosen one? The sorceress believes that Adam is the chosen one that was spoken about, that was going to come and save Eternia and give him a fighting chance against the evil that was going to be rising up. So he goes through and he's like, well, I'm not going to judge. I'm going to take your word for it, sorceress. If you think he's the one, then I'll allow it this time. And they talk it over, and she's convinced 100% that it is definitely him. And so as we keep on scrolling down, we can see where the sorceress whispers in his ear to let him know that in time I'll give you the full power, but for now I'm going to give you just enough to save him. And so he ends up getting just enough, and you can see him start to lift that up, and then it just ends up with "I have," and it's called "Stuck in a Moment." And the reason for that is those last 2 pages were just him, the sorceress, and the other guy were just sitting there scrolling through time after time after time in time, and he always ends up at this exact spot, and he never leaves. And they're saying, well, he could be king if he just let his father die, but his humanity is his greatest strength. And so that's why they deemed that he was definitely the one that was worthy. He was definitely the one that was spoken about. And he is Adam and He-Man.
Nice. That was fun. So general thoughts about these stories that we read tonight. Signature King, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I have, like I said, I don't know much about these characters, but it's good to see, we started off with, their very first appearance, which was kind of neat. And then we see a little bit more modern appearance. I liked it. I liked the compare and the contrast. But in terms of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, I know nothing. I've always had an interest in them. I collected the toys as a kid, but honestly, who didn't? But I know some of these. I am excited for the movie. I haven't seen the trailer. I knew it was out, but time got away. But I think I'm going to go check it out after this.
I recommend
June 5th of this year. Okay.
Yeah. I recommend taking 4 minutes or whatever it is and watch that trailer. I think it's excellent. But I've been watching
I'm going to see the movie 100%, probably in theaters, but I'm not going to watch the trailer.
I don't blame you. I mean, I get that. I know some folks that are like that too, and you get more out of it, when you don't have any preconceived notion.
Yeah, I had forgotten. I obviously loved He-Man too. I like his twin sister She-Ra as well.
She-Ra, yep.
She-Ra, I didn't see her in the stories.
Yep.
And this brought back a lot of memories, like the sorceress becoming the bird. I had totally forgotten about that. Remember, the sorceress, just forgot that she became the bird. But one thing that always stuck with me, even as a little kid, and I still come back full circle to revisit this right now because I feel the same way. Isn't it a good thing that Evil-Lyn is evil? Because that would be quite an embarrassing name if she was a good girl.
Well, and she's really just called Lyn in the comic lore, and I don't know if there's a good Lyn that I don't remember out there somewhere. And I
think she was supposed to be based on like the character Evil-Lyn, like someone named Evil-Lyn. Only probably she's Evil-Lyn.
Yeah, so when they created the toys, they had all of these very, very sort of tongue in cheek kind of kind of names for all the
Yeah.
toys, and so Evil-Lyn was one of the few that did stick.
Yeah, exactly. So that's fun. And I obviously remember the original movie from the 80s with the Cosmic Key and all of that. So
who was he? Meant Dolph Lundgren? Wasn't he the original?
Dolph Lundgren was our He-Man, and
he was
still
our
watching him.
Nuclear Man too, I think, in the
Yeah.
Superman movie.
And he was our Drago. Let's be real.
Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts on these 3 books that we read tonight? Anything that you want to bring up?
I
that
love
we
the
haven't
story.
talked?
I love the stories. I like the writing of it. Like I say, that last book, the art is the weakest. If the story wasn't enough to keep me in, it would have been tough to make it through with the subpar art on it. But I really like when they decided we need to make him related to the bad guy, and now that's going to be his draw and his fight and that kind of thing. So I thought that was a good turn when they made it. I like them. I've liked all 3 of these before. So
cool. I want to do an official. I know, Matt, you said hello to him, but I want to do an official hello to John's Comics with Friends, who's in the chat. So that's cool. And Alan has some news for us. A bomb that he's dropping on Fanboys. Jay Hood says he wants to do a show this Saturday. Well, boom. I've always enjoyed the Alan and Jay Hood and shows. So with Coach Vic as well. So awesome. I look forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good pick tonight, Matt. Very good pick. So I
wonderful
enjoyed that. Yeah. We're going to kind of get into our book show portion right now, talk about what's going on with our channels. I'll just go first this time. Sometimes I go last. This time I'm going to go first. So what's going on with my channel currently, what's on there is a back issue of the week of Flash of Two Worlds, and it did 1.1K views. So I was very happy with that back issue of the week, which is currently on my channel. Absolutely. I have a Comic Book Editions 272 video. There is a legendary autograph unboxing in there. There some more superhero merch, like a Superman t-shirt that I just got. Some comic books, of course, to show as well. So that's currently on my channel. Coming up on the channel, there will be a back issue of the week, which will be Marvel focused, a Silver Age Marvel book that is a key, dropping tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern. Tuesday's Comic Book Editions video is an AOK unboxing from Old Wolf 65, Tony Old Wolf. So that's coming up, along with some more AOKs from my friend in Brazil, Andre. So I'll be sharing that on Tuesday's Comic Book Editions video. As for a book show, Matt said to me in the private chat, he showed me a comic book. He says, "You have this?" I said, "Oh, Matt, of course I have this comic book." And the reason that I'm showing it is because up here is special preview of Masters of the Universe. So when Signature Kings issue ended, the DC Comics Presents, there was a little blurb on the bottom that said, "Watch for a special preview of Masters of the Universe in some upcoming DC comic books." And this is one of the comic books that it was featured in, Wonder Woman Volume 1, Issue 297. Mm-hmm. And I also have another comic book that has the preview in it as well. It's
excellent.
The Daring New Adventures of Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 1 has, and you see that on the bottom with the Masters of the Universe. So I thought I would share these two comic books as my book show tonight.
Very nice.
I love me some Supergirl. I love me some Wonder Woman. So, SK, how many subscribers you have now?
I'm at 14,570 some.
You so crazy.
I don't recall. But yeah, it's doing great. I seem to be surfing on that tsunami that I've stumbled across. Again, pure luck, zero skill. But it's doing great. But in terms of what's coming up on my channel, I've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I recently got a CBCS submission back, so that is always good. I have one book in the mail coming to me that we sent for the Jerry Conway signing. It is en route to me right now, coming back, so that's great. And lots of other good stuff. So in terms of a book show, we talked briefly about Lanterns, a series that I'm very much excited for. I got a couple of books here I want to show. The first one being the director's cut, signed by J.G. Jones of Final Crisis.
Nice.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Had I done this book over again, I would get him to sign in maybe like a metallic green marker, just because I think it would be really cool. But this is one of the rare instances where I'm okay with using black ink, especially when there's like a black and gray kind of cover. So I showed you that book, so I can show you this book. It is the original #1 cover of Final Crisis, also signed by J.G. Jones. I wish I would chose a different color for the ink, but
not yellow.
Not yellow. We would have that would have been bad.
Right through him.
Right through him. But yeah, so I have these both, and I think they complement each other very well. This is obviously 9.8. I think this one is a very serious candidate to also come back a 9.8. So they look good together. So I can't wait to get this one slabbed so it can also go on the wall.
Nice.
Did you get those signed at the same time or in different occasions?
Same time. And CBCS ran a promo code for verified signatures, and I chose to do Final Crisis 1 because there's a million of the books. I sent like 30 some books in, but the promo code cut my bill like well over half. So I should have done more.
That was a good promo code.
Yeah, it was one hell of a promo code, and they've never done one since. So of course,
yeah, they realized they're like, we got a little bit too much business.
Because that was when we were at C2E2. I asked the Beckett rep Cody, about that, and he's like, yeah, that did great for business, but it killed the turnaround time that they were doing really well. Keep it up, they forget it.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. All right, Matt, let's start out with any content coming or other appearances that you want to promote, or
I know I'm going to be on the Omni X-Men with John and Justin. I believe it's the last day of March, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to do Uncanny 207, which is one of the mini covers that I'm obsessed with and have way too many copies than any human should actually own. But that's really the only thing that I've got planned that I can think of. So most of my evenings are I have a window that I can either read my books, I can either work on customer books. If the moon is right, I can work on one of my own books for a change. But most of the time, it's 100% in on customer work.
For those that don't know, you do pressing and cleaning.
Yes. So Pressedcomics is cleaning, pressing, and we doing that. And I ended up I've been working on some pretty big things with some bigger people that I'm not really allowed to say anything yet. So the channel's been pretty quiet because I've been working all on their stuff and I don't really have content to show. But from like November till the 1st of February, I kept getting the same books over and over. So I usually do Instagram reels of before and afters to show everything. But 4 different customers each sent me an ASM 300, an Uncanny 266, a New Mutants 87, a New Mutants 98. And so I was getting these exact same books. I was like, well, I can't keep showing the same before and afters.
Exactly. Everyone think you're a one-trick pony.
Yeah, so I just decided to just throw up other random content right now while I'm working through everybody's similar stuff. But
that's cool. Okay.
That's pretty much where we're at.
Awesome. Well, let's make you big, and I know you got a bunch of great stuff to show us, so I'm excited. Take it away.
Yeah. So I admitted earlier that I am the Electric Superman guy. So I've got
look at that.
Glenn Whitmore and Dan Jurgens signed in all of his glory, and then of course, I know I'm not the only person that has the glow in the dark cover that looks great, signed by Dan Jurgens.
Oh, that is so cool.
Ron Friends and Glenn Whitmore too, and it's always been one of my favorite books, and I know it's not worth a penny, but gosh, I love that book so much still. One of my favorite Batman covers, if I can get it off of here, Mark Morales did a 100 issue or 100 autograph limit when he did these. And I just love this cover with Batman and the Red Hood on it. And
that is cool.
It being out of 100, I couldn't turn it down and had to grab that. Another Batman title lets me get to pump a little bit of one of I don't know that we're actually friends, but we know of each other very well. Mike Spicer, he's the colors for this and the current Transformers run and most Energon universe and a lot of everything that Daniel Warren Johnson does. I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last couple of years, and so anytime he's got a cool cover out, I'm like, hey, I need one of those, please. And so I'll end up getting stuff from him. He actually lives about 10 minutes or so from my in-laws in Florida that I'm always back and forth to. So try to grab any books that he needs worked on. We try to, I'll take care of him on anything that he's got. My favorite character of all period is Nightwing. And it got reinvigorated by Justin at No Good Comics when he was doing his sales pitch like he does all the time on Nightwing 78 when Tom Taylor's run starts. And so I had to pick up a Tom Taylor signed version of 78. And it, like I say, just reignited my love for it. I was really, really hoping that by today I would have had the big book that I've been waiting for. I've been looking for years and just not pulling the trigger on it because I just don't want to pay a ton of money on it. But I do have a New Teen Titans 44 that's coming. That's going to be signed by George Perez on the cover. But this is going to be my placeholder for tonight. This is just the reader. I've got a graded one that's buried in one of the cabinets over here on the side. But yeah, huge Nightwing fan. Love all the Nightwing stuff and love Tom Taylor as a writer too. I have now started following him on Detective. Anything that he does, any one shots or anything, I'm in on it. The last thing I'll do, and I'll shut up after this. This is one of the coolest pickups I've had in a long time.
Oh, wow.
Was getting the 232.
Wow, that is neat.
And paying $50 for it, 50.
Even better.
So it is missing 3 pages on it, and I did not care one bit because when they said $50, I said, please, yes, I will take it. And so yeah, it's pretty cool to have it see the first Ra's al Ghul. It's cool. I enjoy having this one out.
Nice.
That's it.
I did leave a link for your YouTube in the description for this video. People can sub up because you never know when more content will come. And if someone wants to talk to you about pressing and cleaning, is Instagram the best place to reach out to you on?
It is. Yep. I will. I'll talk to you about anything, any questions that you've got. If you're doing your own cleaning and pressing and you got a question, let me know. There's enough books for all of us to be cleaner and pressers. So there's no secrets that's not on YouTube. There's nothing that I'm doing that you can't go out and find out how to do it yourself. It's totally good. There's actually there's a fella named Jim James runs Improve Collecting. That's his YouTube page. He lives just up the road from me here. He has an actual school. You can join up and you can learn. You can go in knowing nothing. He will show you everything you need from start to finish of how to clean and press a book. When you get done, you can use all those courses and just do the repetition and get it completed. Jim's the one that taught me everything that I know. And then I moved from him to working with Jeff up at Comic Spa up in Massachusetts. And Jeff and I are really good friends. He actually called me this weekend. Apparently, we're now going to meet at MegaCon at least for Thursday and in Orlando. So it's a big community. It's a fun community. There's not a lot of jealousy or anything. Like 3 of my best friends are all cleaners and pressers. Johnny's Comic Stuff is another one. Lives up in the Midwest up there, and I don't know. It's fun. We all know what the other one's gone through to get a book from this to that. So there's only a few of us that can really, really understand what it meant to get that bad crease out or that bad run out of it. So it's that's pretty cool.
You can share a cover with us on Instagram, kind of your at-home version of the book show. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live and the Retro Review because we would love to see what you have to share with us. Alan did have a question for you. Do you have the Slime Pit He-Man playset?
I do not, unfortunately. So funny thing, when I grew up, we were broke. Like we were spaghetti 3 times a week. Oatmeal was the breakfast most every day of the week. So I think I had 3 He-Man figures, period. And my cousin had these are all of my cousins he's my best friend. He still lives next door to me. So, and he doesn't care about any of this stuff. So these are all the toys that I played with growing up. And probably, gosh, I guess it would have been about 18 or so years ago. We gave them to my nephews. They're now 19 and 24. And so these all survived me and my cousin, and as rough as we are, and 2 more boys of another generation. And my brother was cleaning out their house, and he was like, what do you want me to do with these? And I was like, I'd bring them over. And so I have a garage where I build cars and work on other people's cars for them. And out through there are all of the original G.I. Joes that we played with. Now all the He-Man stuff is all shelved up there as well too. And so, yeah, I took it as a good excuse. Wife was still out of town, so I brought them all in, dusted them off, cleaned them up. and then put them here on the table. So.
Well, it's the best ever because number one, it didn't cost anything. Number two,
Exactly.
it's your toys, like literally the ones that you have the memories of, the exact ones.
Yep, that's
So,
exactly right.
yeah,
And like I told
that's
you
awesome.
earlier beforehand, Ryan, before we got started, like I've got this thing to where I don't want anything in my possession if it doesn't have a story anymore.
Mhm.
Like I need that happiness. I need something to take me back that brings me that happiness. So if it doesn't, it's really easy to flip the switch and say, nah, I need to move it.
That's a good philosophy. I could really learn from that. And I do have a lot of things in my collection that do evoke memories, but I have some things too, some room I could make to have more memory making things. So I kind of like that. Yeah. Awesome. Matt, you've been an awesome guest tonight. I'm so excited. I was very excited when you agreed to come on, and you were just as great of a guest as I knew you would be. So I hope you'll come back and hang with us again sometime.
Anytime. Absolutely. You say the word and I'm here. Sunday nights are always free. Usually I usually catch you guys through the week. I listen to you as a podcast usually
cool.
During work, usually at least either Monday or Tuesday usually. So
cool.
So, yep.
And I will say, I don't think anyone's done anything Electric Superman. So that's an untapped area here on this channel.
Maybe I need to get penciled in whenever you guys want to talk about that. Maybe we need to have a talk about that.
Open invitation. Right. So yeah. Well, thank you again. So anything else anyone wants to say before we wrap up the greatest DC comic show on YouTube? Nope. Okay.
Shazam.
All right. Next week, believe it or not, next Sunday is going to be a brand new month. Where has February gone? And one of the cool things about March is it's Women's History Month. And certainly there's a lot of ladies that are in our comic book collections from DC Comics and other formats as well. And we're going to do something a little bit different next week. Silver Hair Bronze Age Babe will be back, and we're going to do a special Women's History Month edition of Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. We'll explain more next week because even we don't have all the details yet. But it's coming. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you to the great live chat and those who are watching on the rewind as well. Your time certainly is appreciated and not taken for granted. We hope you have a happy, healthy, and successful week, and we look forward to visiting with you again next week. Bye for now.